Today we will be dealing with AI services. So till yesterday we have done the model building using Python programming, right? Today we will be using IBM and we'll be creating models with the services which are there in the IBM. Okay, nowadays, so many cloud services like IBM, Google, AWS, Azure are giving us feasibility to deploy our machine learning models on the cloud. You can create your own machine learning models in the cloud and you can deploy it over there itself. So that's what we're gonna see today. So how do we build a model with IBM services? Here you don't need of any kind of programming days, just drag and drop kind of stuff. So you just upload your data set, the model building, everything will be taken care by IBM itself, but we have to save the model and deploy it. These are the only two things that we have to do. Uploading is also ours work itself. So as soon as you upload, the IBM will IBM will come to know whether that is a regression problem or a classification problem or a multi-classification problem. Based on that, it will sets up its own properties and all. So that's what we're gonna see today. All right. So please open your IBM accounts. I mean, log into your IBM accounts. So guys, have you logged in? Okay. So whenever you log into IBM account, this is how your IBM account will look like. So you can call this as the dashboard. Okay. So on the dashboard, you can see what are all the services that you have created. But as a new user, you will not find all these things. You'll just find a button called resources or something else like that. That's it. As mine is a very old and I have so many I've created so many services, so it is showing me all the services. All right guys, so this is how your dashboard will look like. Okay, and if you want to see what are all the services that are there in IBM, you can directly click on catalog. You can directly click on catalog. So in this catalog, as soon as you open, it will show you what are all the recent services that you have opened and what are the featured services that are there in IBM. And if you want to see all the services, then you have to click on services from the left pane. So do you see services over here? Yes. So if you select that services, you will find what are all the services that are there in IBM. So these are the different kinds of services. So you have compute service. In this compute service, you will have virtual service, virtual server. So this will act like the virtual server. So you can just install whatever the packages that you want and you can use this service as your own computer but on cloud. All right, I hope everyone know what virtual servers are, right? Virtual servers. So that is nothing but where you can, likewise we are using our computer here. You can use all your applications, everything on cloud with this virtual server. So in the same way, we have containers where you can deploy your web applications and all. You have storage service, networking services, and the most important services that which are there in IBM is AI. If you click on AI, you can see what are all the services that are there in AI. So we have Watson Assistant. Watson Assistant is the service which is used to create chatbot. I hope everyone knows what a chatbot is. So whenever you type a question or a query, it will directly give you the answer. So such kind of chatbots can be created with the help of Watson Assistant. And then we have Watson Studio. So Watson Studio is the platform where you can integrate all the other services together, and you can create your own custom models and all, integrating machine learning, visual recognition service, etc. on the Watson Studio. So today we will be dealing with this Watson Studio service. And then we have annotation for clinical data. So as you see here, it will analyze the textual data coming from a medical code. Okay, it will extract all the medical terminology, etc. in the medical sector. So I hope everyone knows about the medical transcriptor, right? So that make use of programming to retrieve some sort of entities or so. So such kind of things can be done with the help of annotator for clinical data. You can annotate. I mean, whatever, if you want to know the main topics, you can use this annotator. Then you have compare and comply. So compare and comply service is used to compare your documents with the main document. So for example, if as a HR recruiter, I would like to shortlist the resumes. Okay, so being a human, I have to go through thousands of resumes every day. So that will be a boring task for me. So what I do, I'll just make use of this compare and comply service. I'll train the document, I'll train my system, I'll train this service with the my document. So I'll tell the system that, so these are the things that you have to search for in the document. So once you train it, it gets trained on the things that you would like to see in the resumes. So whenever users uploads resumes to the portal, so this compare and comply will check whether the data is matching from the document that you have trained before. So if it is there, then it will shortlist that resume. So instead of a human sitting and doing all the things, she will do. And discovery. So discovery service is also used to analyze the big amount of data. So if suppose I have given you a data of students, okay, so it has all the textual data with the 50,000 pages or something else. So in that 50,000 pages, I have 1 lakh students details. Okay, so in that 1 lakh students details, I would like to grab the name as well as marks of that particular student. So it will be very difficult for me to search each and every line. So what I do, I'll just give this data to my data to discovery. So whenever I search for my name, for example, in that document, Pradipti is there. Pradipti name is there. So after training, I'll search for Pradipti. So whenever I search for Pradipti, it will give the results of all the details with respect to Pradipti, the marks, the roll number, everything. So once it gives that, then immediately I can take marks from that. So, and knowledge catalog, knowledge studio, everything can be combined with discovery service for analysis. All right, and then you have language translator, which is used to translate one language to other. Here we don't have Hindi, Telugu or something. So it is like developed on French, Spanish, something, other languages, German, like that. And then machine learning. So this machine learning service is used to build models. So we have used ANN for regression, classification, and categorical kind of thing, right? So that kind of model building can be used with the help of machine learning service. And natural language classifier. So we have used sentiment analysis, right? So it is checking whether the review is positive or not. So here also it will analyze the natural language. And natural language understanding is, it will extract the data from the document. and then personality insights. So this will give the insights of a document. So what are all the important entities are there in the documents, that will be given by personality insights. And speech to text, it will convert speech to text. Text to speech, it will convert text to speech. Tone analyzer, it is also like a natural language classifier only, but this is used only for sentiment analysis. So if suppose sentiment analysis, like it will see what are all the emotions that are there. So if suppose you give just, if you just give a sentence, so it say whether it is a sad or bad or disgust or angry or like that. Okay, this is tone analyzer. And now we have visual recognition. So visual recognition is like our CNN. So we have used images to train our model, right? So visual recognition uses images to get trained, and you can implement the object detection also with visual recognition. And voice agent. So voice agent is nothing but you can create a voice agent, like we have now Google, Siri, right? We talk to them and in turn they talk to us. Chatbot is different from voice agent, guys. So chatbot is like, it is a chat application. If this voice agent uses Watson service to, to speak the to speak to the customers directly. All right, so this is another service that is there in IBM. And then you have Watson Open Scale. So Watson Open Scale is an environment where you can use this open scale to host your web applications or something like that. So these are all the services that are there in IBM, guys. So today we will be using Watson Studio and machine learning for building our model. All right. So shall we start our practical approach now? Oops, sorry guys. So today we will be building a user interface for the model that we have built. Okay. So we have created the Flask applications where you can enter your data and the predicted result will be shown on the UI, right? So in the same way, with the help of this user interface, user can input their variables and the predicted output will be showcased on the UI. So for this, first of all, you have to build the model. So for building model, we will be using these services. One is Auto AI experiment, one is machine learning service, cloud object storage service, cloud object storage service, and Watson Studio. These are the services that we will be using for model building. All right. Now for user interface, we will be using a service called Node Thread. Okay. So first we will be building all these things and then we'll go for UI building. All right. So why is this Auto AI experiment used for? To load the data set as well as applying some properties or some properties, you can say properties or settings for building a model. Okay. In Auto AI services, we will associate machine learning service to build the model. This cloud object storage service is used to store our data sets. So this Watson Studio is used to it will work as a platform which will integrate all the above services together. So in Flask application, our app.py is different, our HTML file is different, our model file is different, right? But we are making them to fall under same folder name. Yes or no? So in the same way, this Watson Studio is used to integrate all the other services in a single platform. All right. Okay. So once our model is done, you have to save it first. Save it and then deploy it. Okay. So once this is done, you have to save it and deploy it. After deploying, your user interface building will be starting. All right, guys. So first step is to create Auto AI experiment, then machine learning service, then cloud object storage and Watson Studio. So first we will create all these services. All right, guys. Understood what we're gonna do today? Likewise, we have built machine learning models with Python programming. Today we are building model with IBM Cloud. That's it. Cool. Now what I do is I'll just open my cloud, IBM Cloud. So go to IBM Cloud. Whenever you click on this IBM Cloud, that will get redirected to the dashboard. All right. So already I have services, but I have to show you how do we create the service and all, right? So what I do is I'll just delete the services. Okay. I'm just deleting the services so that I can start the service building from the scratch. So just now we have to create the Watson Studio service. Watson Studio service. So how do you create Watson Studio service? Go to catalog. There, click on services from the left pane. Select AI and you will find an option called Watson Studio. Otherwise, from the dashboard itself, so if you click on this IBM Cloud, I told you you'll get redirected to dashboard, right? So from the dashboard, you have a search icon. Did you see? If you search for WATSON Watson Studio, then your Watson Studio service will be showcased. Now just click on that. Done till here, guys? Have you opened Watson Studio service? Have you opened your Watson Studio service, or again I should say you? Yes. So in the search bar, just click on dashboard. You have a search icon, right? So if you search for Watson Studio. Your Watson Studio service will be shown in the options. So now click on it. Whenever you click on it, you will be redirected to a page which will look like this. All right, guys. And if you are stuck somewhere, make sure you just ask me. All right. Please do not stay calm. Just ask me if you have stuck somewhere. All right, guys. Now here you have London as a service, right? I mean, London as an option, right? So please change that to Dallas or Dallas. Okay. So in London, actually, there is some, I mean, if you if you select the region as London, it is giving some sort of errors. So that's the reason I'm asking you to select the Dallas. So that means you are creating your service, Watson Studio service in the region Dallas. So IBM has different kinds of servers, right? So we are using Dallas server. All right. So all the data that you have will be stored in this Dallas server. All right. Now, if you scroll down, make sure light plan is selected. If you don't select that light plan, then you have to pay for it. If you select this, see, for one instance, you have to pay $99. All right. Scroll down. And if you want to give any name for your Watson Studio service, you can give. And if you want to just put the default name also, it's fine. Okay. Now you have a button called create. Click on that. Until here, guys, everyone. Have you clicked on create? If I click on create again, I cannot show you the whole process, guys. So once you are done, then only I'll click on create. You guys click on create, but I'll not do it. Done? Done. So I'm just creating it. So my service is created. All right. So we have applied Flask application for ANN and CNN. Yes or no? So for ANN, you have created a separate folder. For CNN also, you have created a separate folder. And whatever the task that I gave you, for that also you have created a separate folder. Yes or no? So you can consider the whole separate folder as a project bundle. All right. So in the same way, now we are building Auto AI experiment for model building. So you will not have only one data set and you'll just leave it. We'll have so many different data sets, right? So for every data set, you have to build the model. So for that, you will be creating your own folder for each and every data set. So in the same way, in Watson Studio also, creating a project means you are creating a model building or any other thing. All right. So did you understand? So we are using different kinds of project folders, right? So here also we have to use different kinds of project folders. So for that, you have to first create your project. That means the main folder you have to create. So to do so, please click on Get Started. Please click on Get Started. Everyone done till here, guys? Everyone done till here? So whenever you click on create, you will be redirected to a page which will look like this. So whenever you click on get started, you will be redirected to a page where you can create your project folders. That means up new projects. New project is nothing but it is associated with different use cases. Done till here, everyone? Yes. Now please click on create a project. Please click on create a project. Please click on create a project. Whenever you click on create a project, you will find create an empty project or create a project from a sample or a file. So we don't have any sort of files or something else, right? So I want to build it from the scratch. That's the reason what I do. I'll just select create an empty project. Create an empty project. Whenever you click on that, you will be redirected to a page which will look like this. So done till here, everyone? Now, just, yes, right? Yes. Now, just give a project name. Guys, I'm asking for each and every step because I cannot show the whole thing once I create a project. Again, I have to create a new project. So make sure you follow me. If you are not following, just tell me to wait, I'll wait. I'm again and again telling you. If you're not done, please tell me to wait. Okay? Now, I'm just giving this project as my new project, let's suppose. Okay? So I've created a project name as my new project. Now, the next step that we have to do is add our storage service. So the storage service that we have is COS. COS is nothing but Cloud Object Storage Service. So this Cloud Object Storage Service is used to store our data sets. I mean, this is for storing purpose. Okay. So likewise, we have created a folder. Inside folders, I have created templates folder. Inside templates folder, I am creating a HTML file, right? So now what I am doing is I am creating my new project. I'm creating my new project, that is a new folder. In that, I am associating my Cloud Object Storage Service so that I can directly use my data sets from Cloud Object Storage Service. All right. Now, please click on add over here, everyone. Do you find everything? Do you find anything? Add. Click on add. If suppose you already have your Cloud Object Storage Service, then you have to click on existing and select this existing service. But right now, did we create any service? No. So you have to create a new service and associate that with the project folder. So for that, what I'm doing, please click on new. Scroll down. Make sure you select this as free plan and click on create. Should I repeat it or did you follow? Guys, should I repeat it? So, first of all, I have to associate my Cloud Object Storage Service, right? So that you can store your data sets. So for that, what I have to do, I have to click on this add. So whenever I click on this add, it gets redirected to a page which will look like this. If you have already created the service, you can click on existing. And if suppose you have any service, that will be showcased over here. But what is it telling? It is saying no existing service instances found. That means we didn't create it. So that's the reason. Please click on new, scroll down and click on create. Have you clicked on create, guys, everyone? Vaishnavi, are you on this page, or you want me to tell from the first? You're not on this page. Okay. Please click on create. Whenever you click on create, it will pop up a confirmation window. So please click on confirm. Please click on confirm. Once you click on confirm, just let me know. I'll do it. Done? Cool. So click on confirm. So whenever you click on confirm, it gets redirected to the previous project page. Yes. So now we have come to the same project page, but still my storage is not yet associated. So for that, what you have to do is click on refresh. So as soon as you click on refresh, your cloud object storage service will be associated. So as soon as it is associated, you will find an option to create. Have you seen this, guys, everyone? Yes. So please click on create. From where, Swatika? I already created. I cannot go back now. From where am I supposed to tell, Swatika? Swatika, from where am I supposed to tell you again? I mean, from which part? If you tell me from which part, then I can help you, Swatika. Anyways. Swatika, from which part? Yeah, after cloud object storage. After you have confirmed, then you get redirected to a page where you find refresh. Did you find? So click on refresh. So if you click on refresh, you are refresh, not this refresh, Swatika, the refresh button. So whenever you click on refresh button, you can see cloud object storage, something got associated, right? So now here you'll have a button called create towards down bottom right. Click on that. Then you will get redirected to the page which looks like this. Okay. So is everyone on the same page, guys? Is everyone on the same page? Cool. Now, this is overview. In the overview, you can see all the data with the respect to your project. So when is it created? Do you have any description or so? So what is the storage that you have used? and you can see who are all the admins, etc. This is just the overview page. Now coming to assets. Now coming to assets. So right now we don't have anything, but once you upload your data set, you can see your data set over here. After that, whenever you build your Auto AI model, you can see that Auto AI model here. And then you will save your model. So that saved model also will be showcased here. After that, you will be deploying your model. All right. So that deployment will be showcased in the deployments page. So I'll tell you why this deployment is used and all within few minutes, right? And coming to this environment. So environment is nothing but what is the software configuration that you are using for this project. So here you can see how many things you have used and what is the capacity that is you are having. Capacity unit per hour. Capacity unit per hour. So it will only give 50 units per capacity per hour. Okay. And you have different kinds of environments. You can use default Spark, you can use 2.4, but we are using, you can use Notebook or R Studio, anything like this. So whenever your model is building, that environment will be shown over here. Now coming to jobs. Job is nothing but it will showcase whether you are running anything or not. Right now we don't have any jobs, right? So while building your model, you can see what are all the jobs that are there over here. And deployments, your deployments will be there. Coming to access control, you can change the admin and etc. in the access control. Settings is you can give some sort of settings to your project. So the main thing that you have to concentrate is on assets as well as deployments. Assets as well as deployments. Cool. Now we have created Watson Studio service. We have created the cloud object storage service and associated the both. Now you have to create your Auto AI experiment. You have to create your Auto AI experiment. So we have 50 underscore startups data set, right? We have 50 underscore startups data set, right? So that is what we will be using today. All right. Now here. So now what we did, we have created a project, we have associated the cloud object storage, and now you have to create your Auto AI experiment, Auto Artificial Intelligence experiment. So then you can click on, you can see this add to project here, right? Do you find that options on your screen, guys? Yes, if so, just click on add to project. So here you can create your Auto AI experiment, your visual recognition service, your natural language, your modular flow. So these are all the different kinds of things that are there in IBM. But now I am using Auto AI. So this on this pop-up, select Auto AI. Again, I'm telling you, on this page, click on add to project and select Auto AI experiment. So if you open that, it is shown, right? It is shown, see, Auto AI experiment, fully automated approach to building a classification or regression model, right? So I told it is used to build a regression or classification model, right? Without programming, you can build. So guys, have you clicked on Auto AI experiment? Yes. So whenever you click on Auto AI experiment, it will say, if you have an Auto AI experiment already, you can upload it, but I want to do that from scratch. So I'm giving my Auto AI experiment name as my new Auto AI. And so I told you this auto experiment is to load the data set as well as applying some properties or setting for building the model, right? So for building model, you should have machine learning service. All right. For building the model, you should have machine learning service. So if you see here, you find an option called associate a machine learning service. Do you find that? Yes. So please click on that. Likewise, we have created that cloud object storage service. In the same way, we can create machine learning service instance also. Now, click on that. Now, the same thing. If you have machine learning service, you can go to existing. Otherwise, you can click on new. Is everyone on this page? Yes. So now scroll down, select new, scroll down, click on create. So once everyone creates, let me know. I'll click on the create button. Done? Only 2 members. Okay, done. So I am creating it. Now click on create. Now you can create your service and make sure you select Dallas only. So because Watson Studio service we have created in Dallas, right? And then if you want to rename your this thing, you can rename. You can rename your machine learning service. Otherwise, you can just put it like that. Now click on confirm. Click on confirm. So whenever you click on confirm, it gets redirected to the same add to project page. It will take some few seconds of time to get created. Now, so now I came to the same page. So is everyone on this page now? After you clicked on confirm? Is everyone on this page? Now, just click on reload. Just click on reload. Your machine learning services associated. Have you seen this? Done till here, everyone? Is everyone on this page? Cool. Now click on create. Guys, done? Now, did you get redirected to this page? Did everyone get redirected to this page? No need of stopping it, Ishran. These are free services only. You can use this for 2 months. After 2 months, that will get disabled. Automatically, it will get disabled, right? Now, let's upload our data set. Let's upload our data set. So how do you upload it? So here you have something called browse, right? So please click on browse. Again, I'm showing you. Please click on browse on this page. So you already have that 50 underscore startups data set, right? Select that 50 underscore startups data set. So now as soon as you select it, your data set is loaded. Is everyone on this page? So now, did your data set got loaded? So it says it is size is 0.0 MB. It has 5 columns. Okay. Okay. I'll wait. Done, guys? Yes, you can choose any data set, not only this, but now I'm uploading this. If you want to implement another new data set also, you can implement that, Hariharan. Okay, it's not like whatever we have implemented, only that is to be implemented. I'm just showing you how you can work with it. That's it. Any data set is fine. Done? Now, here it is asking which column do you want to predict. So, what is the column that is used for prediction in this data set, guys? Is it state, marketing spend, administration spend, R&D, or profit? It is profit. So select this profit. Now, as soon as you have selected the profit, IBM said that is a regression model and the optimizer metric. So we have used in compile, we have used metric is equal to MSC, right? Have you remembered? Yes. So here it is using root mean square error. That's it. So for accuracy, you can use MSC, R square, RMSC. So root of MSC is nothing but root mean square error, right? Now, if you want to see what are all the configurations that is done, you can click on experiment settings. Have you seen this experiment settings over here? Yeah. So click on experiment settings. So it says data source. So here you can see that training set is having 85% and remaining is test percent. So what are the columns that are selected? 5 by 5. If you don't want to select anything, you can just deselect it. But please make sure you select all the columns here. All right. So this is the data source. Now, if you want to see what are all the algorithms that it is used, so click on prediction. So it says the prediction type is regression. The optimized metric that is used is root. So these are all the regression. Is it fine now? Is it fine now, my guys? Even now it is breaking. Okay, if it is breaking, that means your network may be a little less, guys. I mean, I don't know whether it's my fault or yours. My network fault or your network fault. Okay. Okay. So if you see, We have artificial neural networks in deep learning, right? In machine learning, these are the regression algorithms. The decision tree regressor, extra tree regressor, gradient boosting regressor. So these are the different kinds of regression algorithms. So to the data selected, our IBM will train with all the algorithms based on the accuracy, based on which algorithm it got more accuracy, we have to consider that model. So I'll tell you what that is. Okay, so you can click on save settings and you can click on run experiment. You can click on run experiment. So have you clicked on run experiment, guys? Yes. So I clicked on run experiment. So did that get redirected to this page? So if you swap this view, you have an option called swap view, right? If you swap this view, you can see what is happening. So it's still loading, guys. My data set is still loading, starting the Auto Ai experiment. Okay. So first it will read the data set and then it will split the data into train and test. So after reading the training test, it will do pre-processing. So once the pre-processing is done, it selects the model. So once the model is selected, it uses hyperparameter optimization. So all these things will be done. So now if you see, it is downloading the data source. Now the data is getting splitted. And you can also see this in the other view, swap view. Just click on swap view. You can see that is like getting created. So data training is done. Once the training is done, the algorithm is getting selected. You can see any view. So now if you see, processing is done, model selection is done. After model selection, it selected extra tree regressor now. So now pipeline one has been, parameter optimization is done. Feature engineering is nothing but what are all the features that are necessary that it is checking. So once it is done, again the hyperparameter to optimization is done. So here for ANN parameter, hyperparameter optimization is like increasing the epochs, increasing the hidden layers or something else like that, right? For machine learning, hyperparameter tuning is nothing but changing the random state from 0 to 1 or 2 or something like that. Once it is done, the selected algorithm. So can anyone see this approach on your systems, guys? Yes. Now feature engineering is done. Again, hyperparameter optimization will be done. So all my pipelines are getting created. Here pipeline is nothing but steps which are there in building a model, guys. So you can see completed data training in the right side. Completed composing pipelines. So now it is like finishing up. So I'd see what is all completed and all. Now scroll down. Now if you scroll down, here you find something called pipeline, right? Okay. So out of 8 algorithms, ridge regressor got less error. So while doing regression also, you have seen that regression, the loss value is getting decreased. Did you see? While creating regression model. So here, after creating so many models, so for extra regressor, the error is 11,024. For extra regressor second time also, the error is 11,024. For third time, it is 10,912. For fourth time, it is 10141. So after that, it applied a ridge regressor. Now the loss is something. So it got reduced for the eighth pipeline. So wherever you find a star mark, that means this is the algorithm which got the less error. So if you compare all the things, this is the thing that you got less error, right? All right. Now if you see here, pipeline comparison. If you see pipeline comparison, click on pipeline 8. No enough data to, okay, fine. It is unable to show the data, guys. Anyways, that's okay. So here, pipeline comparison can be seen over here. So R square is 0.933. That means 93%. So I've told R square formula. Did you remember? 1 minus RS divided by SS total, while explaining you about evaluation metrics. Did you remember? Yes. So this is what here is. So the accuracy of this model is 93%. For seventh pipeline, it is 93 to, for sixth pipeline, it is 92, something like that. So you can see here. And here you can see some. So this is the pipeline 8, right? So if you see the pipeline 8, so if you select that, it shows for pipeline 8, it is a graphical representation. Here it is a numerical representation, but here it is a graphical representation of here all pipelines. Now coming to the summary. So whatever the model accuracy is more, you have to save that model. So now here if you select that, you find an option called save as. Do you see that? If you select this pipeline 8, so we have saved our model with model.h5 or profit.h5 or regression.h5. Did you remember? Yes. Yes. So we have to save it now. We are not using any program to save it, right? So you can save it. So you can save as a model or a notebook. But right now I would like to save it as model itself. So model is nothing but model.h5 or something like that. Okay. So select that. Put your cursor on that pipeline 8 on the star mark model. Then you'll have an option called save as. Please select it as model. If you want to give any name to the model, you can give it. And you can see that this model is associated to the new project. Now click on save. So it says your model is saved. Now, where will this model get saved, guys? Where can you see that model now? Of course it is on cloud itself, but where can you see that? That's really good, Krishnavamsi. And someone said Divya. So you can see that project in assets folder. In assets, of course that is in project itself, but you can see that in assets. So before, our assets are like empty. But now you have your data set, you have your Auto AI experiment, and also your models which are saved. Yes? Have you seen this? So your models can be seen from projects, assets folder. Now, if you click on this model, you can see what are all the description about, what is all the description about your model. So this is a machine learning service. Model type is Watson machine learning hybrid model. Environment is hybrid environment. The date that got trained on was 29th June. So what are all the columns that are there? Everything can be showcased. Now you have to test the data. So after saving the model, what we did, we loaded the file and we have sent some variables and we have seen the prediction, right? So here also we have to test it. How can I test it? First of all, you have to deploy it. So guys, done till here everyone? Yes. So, in order to test your model, before you have to deploy it. So please click on deployments. The model is not yet deployed. So for this, you have to add your deployment. So please click on add deployment. Done till here, or should I show you again? So now you have to deploy it. If you want to deploy it, first of all, you have to go to the projects. Where is your project? Over here. You have to deploy it, Balakrishnan. We didn't yet deploy again. We didn't yet deploy it. So that's the reason it will not show. So if you scroll down on your projects, so this is the project that I've given, right? So on my new project, if you scroll down, my models will be there. Click on that models. Then click on deployments. You don't have any deployments. Add deployment is not showing. No, if you click on deployments, then it will show, Balakrishnan. Just refresh your page. Click on deployments and then it will show. Okay. Now click on add deployment. Click on add a deployment. Now you can add new deployment. New deployment as a web service. So why you have to deploy your model? If you deploy your model, you can use this model in your web applications as well as Android applications. So if you are very aware, if you are very much aware of API keys and all, so whenever you deploy your model, it will create some sort of APIs which will be in the form of URLs. So those URLs you can use in your Android applications or web applications. All right, so you can create your own Android application with that URL. Okay, so now, is everyone on this page, guys? Yes, Ishant, you'll have APIs for AWS also, right? The same way, this API can be used in your Android applications. Okay. So is everyone on this page, guys? Oh, Elamati, just refresh the page, ma'am. You'll get that. Now please click on save. So the status will be from initializing. Click on my projects, Elamati. Afterwards, in that project, go to the project. Again, in that, go to the model that you have created. Open that model, you will get it. Your page didn't get refreshed. That's it. So now my deployment is ready. Now, if you open that deployment, new deployment, so you have two options called implementation and test. Is everyone on this page, guys? Yeah. So if you see implementation, so this is the URL which you can use in Android application or web application. But in order to use this API, you have to first have some sort of authentication. So that authentication is nothing but called as bearer token. So this bearer token can be retrieved with the help of ML instance. So I'll be telling this how do you get all these things while we are doing this noded application. Don't worry. Okay. So this is the URL which you can use in Android application or web application to send values to the model. To send values to the model. Just refresh it, Hariharan. It will get replaced. Then, if you scroll down, so you can use this post request. You can use this post request for sending the values so that you can get the predicted value in Python or web application or so. But if suppose if you want to use in Java, you already have some sort of project. I mean, you have already have some sort of code for Java, you can directly use this. In JavaScript also, you have a code with which you can use. In Python also, you have code with which you can predict the data. So in Scala also you have. But if suppose you don't want to use this, but use only post request, you can use curl. So don't worry, I'll show you how do you use this curl functionality in Node-RED. Okay. Now coming to test, click on test. Give some values. So here I'm giving as New York. Just click on predict. You're getting the data. You're getting the output. So it is giving you a JSON object in which you have predictions, field, predictions, values. In that values, you have the profit data. Now, if you want to change anything, you can just change, click on predict, you'll get the output. Have you seen this, guys? Done till here, everyone? Yes. So without any programming, you can run the model. You can run the model. Vaishnavi, this was built by person who knows programming. So these kind of things are used for users, not for developers. To build auto AI experiment. In the back end, whatever the programming that you wrote, that will be there. So if you want to become a developer, then of course you have to use programming. If you don't want to become the developer, then use these kind of things which is being already implemented by developers. Okay, Vaishnavi? Got it, guys? Now, for suppose I have closed everything. I have closed everything. Tomorrow I just logged in and I want to see my project. How can I see that? You cannot you cannot search for Watson Studio. You cannot, okay? Watson Studio and do it. If you go in this way, it asks you for creation of the service. So instead, from the dashboard, click on services. Click on services. Here you have created your Watson Studio service, right? Click on that Watson Studio service. Click on that Watson Studio service. Click on get started. If you scroll down, you will find your projects, which is my new project. Click on that. So now I want to see my Auto AI experiment. So if you click on this Auto AI experiment, whatever the experiment that is run will be shown here. Now if you want to see your model, go back to your my project. Click on models. Now if you want to test your model, go to deployments. Click on this new deployment and the status should be ready, guys. Until and unless your status is ready, you cannot see the testing option. So now click on new deployment. So here you have implementation as well as test. Now test with different values. You got the profit as the output. So I am telling you what are all the steps that we have did now. Okay. Step 1. So guys, done till here, everyone. Should I tell what are all the steps that we did now? step 1. Create a Watson Studio service. Step 2. Click on Get Started. Step 3. Create an empty project. Associate COS, that is Cloud Object Storage. Your projects get created. Step 5. Add Auto AI experiment. Step 6. Upload the data set. Step 7. Change the output. Select the output. Step 8. Change the settings if needed, or run the experiment. Once that is done, step 9. Save the star marked model. Step 10. Deploy the model. Step 11. Test the model. Okay. Next time, no need of doing everything. Just first time only you have to create it. From then, open service, create project, follow the steps. Open service, create project, add Auto AI, upload the data set, everything will be same. Only for the first time you will be creating a service. So done guys, done till here everyone.